Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the celebration of the Constitution Day. The Indian Constitution was adopted on 26 November 1949 and came into effect on 26 January 1950. For this very reason, the Government of India has decided to celebrate the Constitution Day each year on 26th day of November as the Constitution Day or the Samvidhan Divas. So today we have also gathered here to commemorate the 73rd anniversary of the adoption of Constitution of India, to celebrate and honor its noble ideas and to pay respect to the makers of our Constitution. Well, we shall now begin our celebration with the lighting of the butter lamp. I would like to request Dr. Gurmeet Dorji, Director, to kindly do the honors.
Good morning. Today, first of all, आज की इस शुभ अवसर पे जो कि हम लोग का नेशनल लॉ डे है, संविधान दिवस और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे, इस प्रकार के अनेक अनेक नाम से जाना जाते हैं आज के दिन। तो आज के दिन जो संस्कृत है उसमें हमारे हमारे जो कलीग्स टीचर्स है जो जजेस के रूप में आज इस दिन के दिन जो ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमेटी ने कुछ अलग अलग कार्यक्रम का ऑर्गेनाइज किया है, कुछ पोस्टर मेकिंग, स्पीच कॉम्पिटिशन आए। सो साथ ही साथ हमें जो अन्य टीचर्स और स्टाफ और बच्चे सभी को मैं आज के दिन की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देते हैं, संविधान दिवस की सभी को। और साथ ही साथ मोस्ट आई थिंक थ्रूआउट इंडिया में इस दिन को मनाया जाता है ऑलमोस्ट लास्ट 2015 के ऑनवर्ड्स आफ्टर द मोदी गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म दिस गवर्नमेंट। उससे पहले भी था, लेकिन 26 जनवरी ज़्यादा मनाए जाते थे, लेकिन जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे जो है वो अभी मोदी गवर्नमेंट आने के बाद जिसको कंपल्सरी ऑलमोस्ट इन थ्रू आउट दी जितने भी गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसेस है थ्रू आउट इंडिया एज वेल एज अब्रॉड, जितना भी बाहर के देश में भी अपना जो जितना भी आपका एम्बेसी से लेके कल्चरल सेंटर से लेके डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसेस आर प्रिवेलिंग इन थ्रू आउट डिफरेंट कंट्रीज एंड डिफरेंट एरियाज ऑफ प्लेसेस इन दिस जोग्राफिकल होल ऑफ ग्लोब। तो इस 26 जनवरी को मनाने का एक निर्णय लिया था कैबिनेट ने। तो आफ्टर 2015 ऑनवर्ड्स वी हैव बीन सेलिब्रेटिंग दिस अगेन एंड अगेन, बट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया आई थिंक सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट साहब ने कल मना लिया था, क्योंकि ड्यू टू आज सैटरडे होने के कारण सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट जितना भी ऑफिशियल्स वर्किंग है उनका सैटरडे ऑफ होता है, तो इसलिए एक दिन पहले, ताकि सैटरडे में वो लोग फॉर्मेलिटीज ना करें, उत्साह से मनाया जाए, इंथुजियास्टिकली मनाया जाए, तो इसलिए वर्किंग डे में ही उसको कल मनाया गया। तो हम लोगों का वर्किंग डे होने के कारण हमने चेंज नहीं करवाया, अदरवाइज गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल ऑर्डर आए थे कि कल मनाने का, बट समहाउ विच वी हैव ऑलरेडी अ वर्किंग डे, तो हम उसी दिन ही मनाएंगे बोल के, इसलिए आज का दिन रखा गया है। आई थिंक बहुत हम लोग के लिए क्या बोलते हैं गौरव का दिन है आज का दिन, जो 1949 में फर्स्ट जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो हम लोग का बना है, जो हम लोग की जस्टिस, राइट, डेमोक्रेसी, सोवरेनिटी, इंटीग्रिटी, हर चीज़ के बारे में उसमें लिखा गया है एक एक आदमी लोगों के लिए। तो उस संविधान को आज का दिन एडॉप्ट किया था, वो जो ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी के चेयरमैन जो था डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर, तो उन्होंने इसको आज का दिन कमेटी ने इसको एडॉप्ट करके फिर उसको लागू किया गया था, या उसको मतलब नेशनल वाइड इफेक्ट करवा दिया था 26 जनवरी, जो हम लोग हमेशा मनाते हैं 26 जनवरी को, उसको इफेक्ट फ्रॉम दैट टाइम, बट आज का दिन कैबिनेट ने अप्रूव करके एडॉप्ट कर लिया था विद इफेक्ट फ्रॉम 26 जनवरी। तो इसका दिन बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। तो लास्ट एनी हाउ, तो साथ ही साथ आज का दिन एक इंडिया में एक घटना भी घटा है जो हम लोग सबको वेल अवेयर है, 26/11 के नाम से जाना जाता है, जो मुंबई अटैक हुआ था, उसमें भी काफ़ी लोग मारे भी गए थे, बहुत सारे आतंकवादी एज वेल एज जो अटैक हुआ मुंबई के सिविलियंस एज वेल एज बहुत सारे सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स और हम लोग का जितना भी नेशनल क्या बोलते हैं एजेंसी से जो सिक्योरिटी देखते हैं डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ पुलिस से लेके आर्मी से बहुत सारे उसमें श्रद्धांजलि भी देना पड़ा थे। तो उन दोनों का दिन आज है, तो एक मेमोरियल डे भी है उनका भी, उनके नाम पे हम लोग एक श्रद्धांजलि भी दे सकते हैं, साथ ही साथ एक गौरव का दिन भी है, तो दोनों आज का दिन फॉल होता है। तो somehow I will again welcome you all on this Constitution Day, or I thank each and everyone who has been organizing this day as a memorable day and who has been contributing. all the बच्चों की कंट्रीब्यूशन के बगैर ये मेमोरेबल डे नहीं होता है। जो आप लोगों ने योगदान दिया है डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज़ में आपने अपना पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं, डिफरेंट अब 2-3 प्रकार के इवेंट्स उन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइज किया है पॉलिटिकल डिपार्टमेंट में, तो जो भी आप लोग ने योगदान दिया उन सबके लिए बहुत बहुत थैंक यू। और वंस अगेन आई वेलकम यू ऑल फॉर दिस इवेंट कंस्टिट्यूशन डे। थैंक यू एवरीवन।
Thank you, sir. I now request Sri Kevo Padu, Assistant Professor, the coordinator of today's program, to kindly deliver his speech.
Very good morning to all of you. Most respected Director, Gurubindo sir, AO, Akash sir, respected judges, my dear colleagues and students. So, as everyone knows, today is the Constitution Day. So, before speaking on Constitution Day, firstly, we have to know what the Constituent Assembly is, because the Constitution comes from the Constituent Assembly. So, the Constituent Assembly comes after the Cabinet Mission Plan comes to India in 1942. So, in the pursuance of Cabinet Mission Plan, the election to the Constituent Assembly was held on July 1946. So, after election, the Constituent Assembly was established on 6 December 1946. So, for the first time, the Constituent Assembly passed its meeting on 9 December 1946. So, then after, for almost 1 year, the Constituent Assembly was ineffective. But it was in August 1947, 14 August 1947, again the Constituent Assembly sit together and working as a successor to the British Parliament's authority in India. So, the Constitution of India, or Free India you can say, was a result of a laborious work done by the members of Constituent Assembly. And the Constituent Assembly was composed of 308 members, which has been divided into different committees. So, and among that committee, the drafting committee was the most important committee, which was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, it was under the guidance of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, they able to draft the Constitution of India by taking 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. So, to draft our Constitution, the Constituent Assembly take 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. So, after drafting of the Constitution, again, this drafted Constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on this day today, that is 26 November 1949. And then after, the Constitution of India came into force on 26 January 1950. So, from this is the history behind the celebration of Constitution Day as well as the enforcement of our Constitution. So, the Constitution of India was originally composed of 395 articles, 8 schedules, and 22 parts. However, the Constitution go on expanding due to the various acts, due to various amendments. So, it is very difficult for me to discuss about the world's lengthiest Constitution today, because if we are going to discuss this Constitution, it will take more than years or 2 years, because though we are having 395 articles, but again within article we have clause, sub-clause, again we have to see the ruling of the court also. So therefore, to discuss the Constitution of India is not possible for me to discuss today. But even then, the preamble tell us about the basic principles and the matters that has been given under the Constitution has been given in a short summary in a form of preamble in Indian Constitution. As the preamble reads like this: "We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist and secular republic." So these are the basic principles of our Constitution. So today I want to focus few lines on the basic principles of our Constitution, because it is not possible for me to say that are given under Indian Constitution. The basic principle as given in the preamble is "We the people of India." What it signifies? We the people of India signifies that the founding father of our Constitution has derived the sovereign authority of the country from the people. So they have mentioned that we the people of India, it is the people of India from where the country derived its sovereign power. So this is the number one principles that are given under Indian preamble or Indian Constitution. Number two is sovereign, right? As I mentioned, sovereign. Again, the framers of Indian Constitution highlight the fact that sovereign nation, India is a sovereign nation internally as well as externally. So what it means? India is a sovereign nation internally as well as externally. So it means that India is not under the control of any other nation, nor India is under the control of any other king or queen. So India is a complete independent nation internally as well as externally. So this is the number second principles, the basic principles given under the preamble of Indian Constitution. Now number third is socialist. This socialist word has been added to Indian preamble after 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Right? So what is the necessity of adding the socialist word under Indian Constitution? Socialism stands for a government where the means of production are totally under the control of the government or partially under the control of government. So by including the socialists, the government wanted to eliminate the poverty and reduce the gap between the haves and the have-not, that is rich and the poor. Okay? So this is the number third principles. The number four is secular. And I think this is the most important for today's modern India, because this secular word is also incorporated in Indian Constitution in preamble after 42nd Amendment. So what is the necessity of including secular in Indian preamble? So in today's world, especially, the people are fighting in the name of religion. But the Constitution says that the government or the Constitution has an equal respect for all the religion, irrespective of the number of the followers of that particular religion. Right? So, as a law-abiding citizen, as a citizen of India, we must respect each and every religious group that exists in our country. Okay? So, after secular, the number fifth is democratic. Okay, the number fifth basic principles of our Constitution is democratic. So why democracy or why democratic? The Constitution established democratic principles to ensure universal adult franchise. Okay, universal adult franchise. So you might have understood the meaning of universal adult franchise. Free and fair election and accountability of representative to the electors. Okay, accountability of the representative to the electors, but unfortunately, the representatives are not what called accountable to the people. But for this also, we people are responsible. right? We people are responsible because we people usually take lots of money in a form of cash, in a form of materials during the time of election. So after election, if you take a money before the election, then automatically the representative will not look after you or will not listen to you. So for this, I say, as a educated citizen, okay, as a learned citizen, we should stop this kind of practices in our society. And number 6 principle is about republic. Okay, the basic principles. The number 6 principle is republic. So what republic is mean? Because many of the people have a confusion regarding the republic. So what republic means? It is a state in which supreme power rests in the within the people and elected representatives. And republic state oppose the rule of one or oppose the rule of king or the queen or like a dictator. Okay, so these are the basic principles that the framers of our constitution under the leadership of B.R. Ambedkar has given to us. Okay, so apart from the basic principles, again there are major commitments. Okay, major commitments to be followed in India. That is, number 1 is liberty, number 2 is equality. So what do you mean by liberty? Again, when we talk about liberty, again people will confuse, right? So liberty, freedom comes. So again people thought that we are being granted a liberty, we are being granted a freedom, but we are not granted an absolute freedom. So these things we have to keep in mind, right? There is a difference between absolute freedom, absolute liberty, and a liberty, right? So it means that, for example, when we talk about absolute freedom, so we have a freedom of speech and expression. For example, by having freedom of speech and expression, we cannot say anything without any reason, without any proof. So there is an obstacle within our freedom of speech and expression. So these things we have to take care of. Now number 2 is equality. Okay, the framers of Indian Constitution wanted that equality should be maintained among the people in our society, right? So where there is no equality, there is a problem in a society, and problems comes in a society due to inequalities that practice in our society. These things we have to keep in mind. Where there is an inequality, there is a problem. Okay? So number 3 is fraternity, that everybody knows. We have to maintain brotherhood among the people. Next is justice. Okay? Justice is also very much important for our society. Then the last one is national integration. Okay? India is a multi-diversity country in the field of language, religion, caste, community, race, etc. So therefore, it is a duty of every citizen to maintain unity among the people. Okay? So if we don't maintain unity within a society, then it will create a disintegration in the society. So, by saying this, I conclude my short lectures and wish everyone a happy Constitution Day and try to be a law-abiding citizen as well as a citizen of a democratic country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the Constitution of India is the supreme law governing body, and the preamble outlines its basic structure. So I now request Dr. Gurmittorji to kindly proceed with the reading of the preamble, and also request everyone to please follow after him.
We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economical, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Equality, of status, and of opportunity. And to promote, among them, all. Fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual, and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Thank you.
सर इसमें जो क्या दिखाते बोलने से पूरा मतलब पोस्टर और पूरा कुछ सिम्बलाइज करते और इसका पीछे बनाने का रीज़न भी है सर। तो सर इसमें मतलब पहले जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं होने में क्या होता था और अभी होने में क्या होती ये बताएं सर।
आगे एक तरफ वो ब्राह्मण एक तरफ शूद्र रखे इससे क्या बताना चाह रहे हैं आप?
सर जब ना क्या बोलते पहले कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ये होता था तो क्या होता था बोलने से डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बिटवीन कास्ट होता था। जैसे कि ये पंडित जो ब्राह्मण को रिप्रेजेंट करते और ये शूद्र जो लोअर का शुद्ध उसको रिप्रेजेंट करते सर। उसके बाद जो हम लोग डॉक्टर B.R. अम्बेडकर है जो फादर ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है उसने मतलब अलग अलग नेशन में जाके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लिखना शुरू किया। सर आप देख सकते हैं ये बुक अपना क्रिएटिविटी यूज करके
बुकली सिंबलिक
395 आर्टिकल्स है और 22 पार्ट्स और 8 शेड्यूल्स पूरा इसका अंदर है। अभी तक हम लोग कंट्री को मतलब एक तो गवर्नमेंट एक तो कंट्री को ना सर पूरा मतलब सिटीजन को वन अम्ब्रेला में लेके आने का जरिया ये है। उसके बाद हम लोग कंट्री को एक ऐसा फर्दर जनरेशन ले जाने के लिए यही है सर। थ्रू डायरेक्ट हम लोग उसको ले जा नहीं पाएगा तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट है सर। उसके बाद तो जानते हैं सर पार्लियामेंट हाउस
इसके क्या है इसका यूज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के साथ
वही सर इसका बहुत यूज है सर ये भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। उसको बाद सर फंडामेंटल राइट्स भी लिखा है सर जैसे कि फर्स्ट राइट टू इक्वलिटी जो हम लोग कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का मुताबिक से जो भी कुछ रूल्स होगा सिटीजन को पूरा इक्वलिटी है। अमीर को अलग गरीब को अलग बोल के नहीं है इसलिए राइट टू इक्वलिटी सर। उसका राइट टू फ्रीडम हम लोग ऐसे सिटीजन चाहे हम लोग गरीब हो या अमीर हो हम लोग फ्रीली अपना लाइफ को जी सकते सर। उसका राइट अगेंस्ट एक्सप्लॉयटेशन सर जैसे कि आर्टिकल 24 में कहा गया है कि सर मतलब चाइल्ड लेबर जो डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली चाइल्ड लेबर के ऊपर ही बात करते उसको चाइल्ड लेबर को ख़त्म करके हम लोग को यहाँ में राइट भी दिया है एजुकेशनल राइट बोल के ना सर। यहाँ में मतलब एज 6 से लेके 14 तक हर किसी को एजुकेशन मिलना चाहिए। अगर जो यहाँ पे राइट्स दिया है वो राइट्स नहीं मिलने से थ्रू रेमेडीज का हिसाब से हम लोग उससे केस लड़ सकते हैं सर। फंडामेंटल राइट इज अबव फॉर एवरीवन।
ओम क्या है? ओम भी है क्या?
सर ये जो क्या डिफरेंट रिलीजन हम लोग मतलब
संविधान में लिखा हुआ है ओम?
मतलब सर
ओम लिखा हुआ है क्या?
सबको
नहीं वो
जी सर, हम लोग ने जी सर, मतलब हम लोग को राइट है। अगर हम हिंदू करने से हम मतलब हिंदू में धर्म में जा सकते हो, अगर क्रिश्चियन करने से क्रिश्चियन धर्म में जा सकते हो, वो अपना राइट है। ये सिविलाइज कर रहे हैं
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में नहीं, लेकिन उसका मुताबिक वही बता रहा है कि कोई भी आप रिलीजन
ले सकते हैं,
अपना राइट से आपको चुनिए है। ठीक है, वही सर फंडामेंटल राइट्स और ये इक्वलिटी और ये
कितने रूम है पार्लियामेंट में?
उसको सर वहाँ में बदबीतर का वजह से होते उसने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लिखा। ये सर, थैंक यू।
ये फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज है ना सर, इसमें सब कुछ लिखा है जो हम लोग कर सकते हैं, जो एक क्या इंसान को सिटीजन बना सकते हैं, ड्यूटीज दिया गया है ना सर, जो कर सकते हैं और जो लिमिटेशन है वो सब इसमें लिखा है सर। और ये तो फादर ऑफ नेशन ना सर, गांधी जी, और ये चेयरमैन ऑफ ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी, ये हम लोग प्रियम्बल लिखे जी सर। और ये जितना भी कल्चर है ना सर, रिलीजन वो सब सिम्बलाइज करते सर इससे।
हम सब एक
जी सर, ये पार्लियामेंट है सर जी सर। इसमें हम लोग का क्या कहते हैं नेशनल एंथम और पार्लियामेंट और चेयरमैन ऑफ ड्राफ्टिंग। और ये जो चिड़िया उड़ है ना सर, वो क्या सिम्बलाइज करते हैं, फ्रीडम सिम्बलाइज करते हैं।
ये क्या है? वंदे मातरम गलत है सही है? संस्कृत एक हिंदी है,
संस्कृत में है सर।
संस्कृत में ऐसे लिखता है, वेदम में लिखता
था द को पर मात्र
है। वंदे मातरम राइटर कौन है? राइटर यहाँ का राइटर है।
वंदे मातरम बोलो नहीं जी। अच्छा, और ये सब सर सिर्फ क्या इंग्लिश में नहीं लिखा है सर, टिबेटन में भी लिखा है सर।
थोड़ा समझाओ ना हिंदी में लिबर्टी क्या है, जस्टिस क्या है?
A very good morning to all of you, most respected director sirs, you sir, dean sirs, and all my dear friends. Today, I'm captain of Vikramshila House. Today, I'm going to explain our posters. So it is a poster making competition. So we make a poster. Let me explain from here. सर ये जो इंडिया गेट है ना सर, तो इंडिया गेट हम लोग ये पोस्टर मेकिंग में सबसे पहले हम इंडिया गेट जो बनाने क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट लगा से हम लोग इंडिया गेट से होके स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं, तो इसलिए इंडिया गेट को यहाँ पे चिपकाने का मकसद भी ये था सर। इंडिया गेट को यहाँ पे चिपकाया
क्यों बनेगा?
इंडिया गेट सर हम लोग इंडिया गेट से बाहर हम लोग सर इंडिया गेट का बाहर हम लोग अलग जगह मानना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि इंडिया गेट से हम लोग का मतलब क्या होता है देश जो स्टार्ट होता है ना सर, तो इसलिए इंडिया गेट बना है सर।
मेमोरियल है
मतलब इसमें इंडिया गेट में और भी सर जितना भी हम लोग फाइटर्स लोग था ना सर, वॉरियर्स लोग था, जितना भी फाइटर्स लोग था वो लोग का भी नाम यहाँ पे मेंशन किया जो सर इस यहाँ पे
मेमोरियल में बनाया गया था ना इंडिया गेट।
इसलिए इंडिया गेट जो था
किसके
इम्पोर्टेंट
मेमोरियल में
लगा
बनाया था याद है?
जी सर,
किसकी मेमोरी बनाया?
इंडिया गेट हम लोग फाइटर्स का मेमोरियल
फाइटर्स तो है, कौन सा फाइट, कौन सा वार?
सर हम इतना एग्जैक्टली तो याद नहीं है।
फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में जो शहीद हुआ था उनके नाम पे बने।
इसके बाद यहाँ पे हाउस ऑफ पार्लियामेंट है ना सर, हाउस ऑफ पार्लियामेंट पे ये जो लिबर्टी दिया, लिबर्टी हम लोग क्यों दिया बोलते सर, लिबर्टी का मतलब हम लोग जो स्टेट ऑफ क्या होता है सोशल सबको इक्वली राइट्स हो, जस्टिस जो मतलब हर किसी को मतलब जस्टिस मिलो, चाहे वो गरीब हो या अमीर हो सबको जस्टिस मिलो बोल के, इसका इक्वलिटी यहाँ पे कहीं में भी मतलब किसी को भेदभाव ना हो बोल के, ये छोटा जात से है तो इसको जॉब देगा इसे देगा इसलिए। और ये सर यहाँ पे फ्लैग बनाए सर, इसमें वो देख सकते हैं। इसके बाद ये जो डिग्निटी मतलब जिस चीज़ का अपना जो हक है सर वो अच्छे से मिलो बोलते सर। इसके बाद इंटीग्रिटी मतलब सबको बीच में मतलब वो किसी का बीच में भेदभाव ऐसे कुछ भी नहीं, फेटर्निटी मतलब भाईचारा सर, जो मतलब जितने भी रिलीजन से जैसे बुद्धिज़्म हो गया, हिंदू हो गया, मुस्लिम हो गया, वो लोग सब एक दूसरे को दादा भाई का नज़र से देखिए बोलते सर, यूनिटी सब एकजुट हो गए सर। इसका बाद यहाँ पे सर नेशनल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे जो अभी यहाँ पे सर इसमें भी वही इक्वलिटी सर सबको बराबर यहाँ पे जो साइन दे के रखा सर इसमें क्योंकि हम तेजी से देखा जाएगा तो सबको बराबर तोलना है बोल के इसका लिबर्टी है अपना खुद का हक के लिए हम लोग इससे लड़ाई करना है बोल के सर इसमें इसलिए ये साइन दिया फ्रेटर्निटी जहाँ पे सर 2 हाथ के बीच में लव साइन दिया जो क्या आते मतलब प्यार से वो बोल के इसका जस्टिस का इधर में साइन दिख रहा सर हर किसी को जस्टिस मिला इसका सर ये जो हम लोग इंडिया मैप है सर इंडिया मैप में जो आज हम लोग कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है इसी का ऊपर दिखा इंडिया इज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ द लॉन्गेस्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड ये तो सर यहाँ पे हम लोग जो क्लियरली दिख रहा सर क्या क्या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में आते हैं इसके बाद सर यहाँ पे हम लोग महात्मा गांधी को बनाए सर महात्मा गांधी को सर इसमें इतना महात्मा गांधी का क्या होते हैं हम लोग ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो कब बनाया था 26 नवंबर 1950 को बनाया तो उसमें महात्मा गांधी तो फ्रीडम फाइटर था लेकिन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में उसमें इतना योगदान तो नहीं है लेकिन इससे पहले इंडिया में जब मतलब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अम्बेडकर सर बी आर अम्बेडकर का पोस्टर बनाया जब वो थोड़ा जवान हुआ करता था उस टाइम का पोस्टर इसमें इतना मेचर तो नहीं है सर तो इसमें बी आर अम्बेडकर ने एकदम क्या बी आर अम्बेडकर का थॉट लिखा उसका कैसे मतलब वो एक सोच था वो लिखा है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर आर द मेडिसिन्स ऑफ द बॉडी एंड पॉलिटिक्स एंड व्हेन द बॉडी पॉलिटिक्स गेट्स द सिक एंड मेडिसिन्स मस्ट ऑफ द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव जैसे लॉ और क्या होती है ये सब एक मेडिसिन का तरह काम करते हैं बोलते ये लिखा है इसमें सर सोच कर इसका बाद यहाँ पे एक तो इंडिया फ्लैग बनाया है सर इसका यहाँ पे सर ये जो इंडिया नेशनल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे है वो इसमें जो अभी जो ये कैरी करके जा रहे हैं इसको जो हम किसको मतलब सिम्बलाइज किया हमसे तो बी आर अम्बेडकर का वो किया फिर ये मिरर में जो इसमें जो सर क्या सिम्बलाइज करते बोलते हैं हम जितना भी कास्ट है ना सर कास्ट हो गया सेकुलर हम लोग सबको मतलब एक साथ हम सबको एक साथ मिल के बैठना है बोल के दिख रहा है इसका सेकंड में जो ये इधर में जो लिखा है सर टू वैल्यू एंड रिजल्ट स्पीच ऑफ ये जो हम लोग ये ताजमहल को बनाने का क्यों था जो ताजमहल जो एक हम लोग बहुत पुराना वाला हम लोग पहले बोले तो हम
कलिस तो बनाया सर सबने बनाया ना रात में बढ़िया बनाया
इंडिया गेट जो है फास्ट फॉलोअर में इंडिया गेट जो फास्ट फॉलोअर में जो वो है ना सर सैनिक लोग बहुत मारा था उसका यादगार के लिए मेमोरियल के लिए ये याद करने के लिए जो इसको बनाने में 10 साल लगा है 1921 to 1931 तक ये प्रेम सर ये जो हम लोग पार्लियामेंट हाउस ऊपर जो आदमी ना सब
लाइक भी कर सकते हैं
ब्लू ही पहनते हैं सर इसका कपड़ा नहीं पहनते
गांधी की डंडा क्यों लेके
कौन से वो जो सत्य अहिंसा
अहिंसा नॉन वायलेंस डंडा
Very good morning to one and all. Mostly respected present here, Director Sir, and AO Sir, Dean Sir, and Warden Sir, and respected judges, and teaching staff and non-teaching staff, and there my senior students, and there my friends. Today I am here to give you short introduction about Constitution. As you know all, today 26 November is Constitution Day. As you know that what is a constitution? Constitution is a supreme law according to form of government. Constitution is one of the longest written constitution in the world. Constitutions of India. For example, Constitution of India is backbone of democratic country. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is known as the father of Indian Constitution, and he was main person to make Indian Constitution, and he was also chairman of drafting committee. And Indian Constitution is taken from other constitutions like France, USA, and German. It took 2 years and 11 months, 18 days to make complete. Its implement on 26 January 1950. As we are celebrate Republic Day to every year. So I would like to recite the preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to Constitution, India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and justice, socialist, economic and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them to all. Fraternity, assuring dignity of individuals, of nation. In our Constitution Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, to hereby adopt in a gift to ourselves and this Constitution. So, primaries of the Indian Constitution represent the main key concept adopted by the Constitution. The preamble is known as the spirit and bones of the Indian Constitution. So, today, if there is no any fundamental right, then we are not free for any elements of dominance. By the blessing of those legendary and these fundamental rights, we are safe. So, in this way, I would like to stop my speech and thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Good afternoon to all of you, respected director sir, AO sir, David sir, Alpha sir, and the judges over here. And most respected our teachers and my dear friends on the floor. Today I am standing over here on behalf of Vikramasilaya House to give a little speech on constitutional values of Indian Constitution. So before speaking about the constitutional values of Indian Constitution, I would like to say some words about the Constitution. What is Constitution and how and when our Indian Constitution came into being. So first, let me speak about what is Constitution. So the Constitution is the supreme law of the land according to which a country is governed. And in short, you can say is that it is the written document in which the laws and the organs of the government and its functions, its rights and its limits are all mentioned in it. And so I've done the meaning of Constitution, and I'd like to say when the Indian Constitution came into being. Before making the Indian Constitution, there were Sachidanand Sinha and Rajendra Prasad and Jawaharlal Nehru have done many meetings to form the Indian Constitution. And after 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, the Indian Constitution was formed. And the first Constituent Assembly was held on 9 December 1946, and it was presided by Sachidanand Sinha. And the second Constituent Assembly was held on 11 December 1946, presided by Rajendra Prasad. And the third Constituent Assembly was held on 13 December 1946, presided by Jawaharlal Nehru. And I like to read out the 7 features of Indian Constitution. And the first one is that our Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution in the world. Because originally our Indian Constitution had 395 articles, 22 parts and 8 schedules. But now we have 448 articles, 25 parts and 12 schedules. And the second selling feature of Indian Constitution is it is drawn from various sources like the fundamental rights and DPSCs are all the provisions are taken from many other countries like USA, Irish, German, and many more. And the third selling feature of Indian Constitution is it is both flexible and rigid. It is both flexible and rigid. That is means that if you want to change the name of a state, you can change it very easily, because of which it becomes flexible, and it is rigid because if you want to change an article, you are needed of 43% of majority in a parliament. And the fourth present feature of Indian Constitution is that it puts more single citizenship. Unlike the USA, that it has also state citizenship and its country citizenship. But in our India, we have only one citizenship. That is that we all Indians are we hold for one citizenship, that is Indian. We the people of Indians are one citizen. We all have one citizen. And if the fifth selling feature of Indian Constitution is that fundamental rights. It gives the people of India the fundamental rights. They are the 6 fundamental rights. As you all know, I don't want to repeat because you all might get bored. So the 6th is the DPSP, Directive Principle of State Policy. It is in part enshrined in Part 4 of Indian Constitution, and it is not enforceable by the Constitution for the violation. And the 7th is secular state. As you all know what a secular state is. And the 8th is that our India is a parliament form of government. And the 9th is our government is bicameral legislature. And now I would like to tell the constitutional values of Indian Constitution without taking.
Good morning all.
director, sir, warden, teaching staff and non-teaching staff, and my dear. Before I start my talk, I would like to say 2 or 3 lines of celebration of Constitution Day. As you all know, today is the day of celebration, Constitution Day. We celebrate Constitution Day because 26 November 1949, we adopt Constitution as our backbone of our country. So, this is on Constitution Day. Now, Constitution is stand for the written document or rule and regulation of the country. And in Constitution, basic organs of the country are written, such as legislative, executive, and judiciary. As you all know, Indian Constitution is the lengthiest constitution of the world, containing the 391 articles, 8 schedules and 22 parts. But in the present time, the Constitution has 12 schedules and 25 parts, which make Indian Constitution as the lengthiest constitution of this country. Now, how the Indian Constitution was formed? So, the Indian Constitution was formed by the Constituent Assembly. And the Constituent Assembly had first meeting on 9 December 1946, where they discussed on the formation of the Indian Constitution. The members of the Constituent Assembly was indirectly elected by the Provincial Legislative Assembly, formed in 1935. The Constituent Assembly is composed of 308 members, and its members were divided into different committees. And as you all know, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of the Constituent Assembly, or the drafting committee of the Constitution. To complete the Indian Constitution has borrowed various principles from the different countries of the world, such as British Constitution. From British Constitution, we borrowed parliamentary form of government, rule of law, lawmaking procedures, and institution of the speaker. And we borrowed from United States, USA, America also. From American Constitution, we borrowed fundamental rights, judicial review, and independence of judiciary. French Constitution, we borrowed French Constitution, liberty, equality, and fraternity. And from Canadian Constitution, we borrowed quasi-federal form of government, a government where the center is more powerful and the state is less powerful than the central government. And Ireland Constitution. From Ireland Constitution, we borrowed DPSP, means Directive Principle of State Policy, which give direction to the government and the Constituent Assembly took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days to prepare the Constitution of India. And on 9 December 1949, we adopted Constitution. 26 November 1949, we adopt our Constitution, and on 26 January, the Constitution of India came into force. First, as I mentioned, we borrowed different various principles or provisions from different countries, such as parliamentary form of government. So, parliamentary form of government is a form of government where the parties are elected by the people or which party, and the party make the government which obtain more states or more work from the people. And rule of law. Rule of law means for law itself has a rule how to function. And lawmaking procedure. Lawmaking procedure means thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Presented here on the great occasion of 73rd celebration of Constitution Day. I am presenting here on behalf of Odantapuri House on the topic on constitutional values of the Indian Constitution. Before I'm going to start with first we should know what is the Constitution. Constitution means the system of fundamental principles according to which the state, institution and citizens are governed is called Constitution. A constitution helps serve as a set of principles and rules and procedures. Constitution is a set of documents, set of forms. And the Indian Constitution has certain core constitutional values that express the various articles and provisions. If express what value means that the words truth, non-violence, and peace, cooperation, and honesty, respect, and kindness. These all are words values. Values are essential for every human, for the existence of every human society as an entity. The preamble to any constitution is a brief introductory statement that conveys the guiding principles of the documents. If I say the preamble to the Indian Constitution also does so. The values expressed in the preamble are expressed as objectives of Constitution. These objectives are like sovereignty, secularism, and socialism, secularism, democracy and republican. Justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. These all are objectives. Number one, sovereignty. Being sovereignty means having complete political freedom. It means every person has a right to participate on election and in field of political. This means that constitutional authorities and organs of the government derive their power from the only from the people, only from the people. Now, second point is socialism. We all aware that in the Indian culture, Indian traditional society, there is a conflict, fighting in many on religious, fighting on religious and territory. That's why the Indian Constitution has aimed at. Thank you.
Very good afternoon, most respected Director Sir, and AO Sir, and respected judges, and my dear teachers and staff and senior students, and my dear classmates and junior students. Today I am here representing the Takshashila House in the competition of speech on constitutional value. To speak out all the Constitution of India is impossible in 5 minutes, so I would like to just talk on the what's the value of our Constitution, what is the advantage of our Constitution. This is my topic today. And partly the Constitution of India is formally made by the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly, Constituent Assembly was formed of 308 members, which was elected by the indirect elections by the Provisional Legislative Assembly in year 1935, and in that Constituent Assembly, Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar was the drafting committee of that Constituent Assembly, and the Constituent Assembly, our Constitution was adopted on 26 November 1949, and it came into effect in 26 January 1950. So I think that the most important in our Constitution is the 6 fundamental rights are very important in our fundamental rights. So I would like to talk on related with the 6 fundamental rights today here. First, I would like to read out what are the 6 fundamental rights of Indian Constitution. There are 6 fundamental rights. Right to equality, which remains in Article 14 to 18, and second is right to freedom, which remains in Article 19 to 22. Right against exploitation, Article 23 to 24. Right to freedom of religion, 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights, 29 to 30. Right to constitutional remedies, which remains in Article 32. First of all, why is our Constitution is very important to run our country very neutrally and normally, because you all know that our country is a country of diversity. There are so many religions, different religions, and so many kinds of linguistics, right? So the right to freedom or right to equality, these are the very important in our Constitution. Right to equality especially gives to the minority peoples of our country, minority peoples, because we all know that our society is always try to dominate the minority peoples by the majority peoples. That's why this written Constitution is very important to equilibrium in our society. So all the Constituent Assembly know that this is the diversity country, so they made the constitution and they included the right to equalities and right to freedoms, all that freedoms. And why is the right to equalities important? Right to equality is important because the equality, because if the equality is not, if the right to equality is not there, the who have the more power and more background, they will be they will be state all our rights. So thank you very much.
I'd like to say a very good afternoon to everyone. Most respected our director sir, AO sir, DN sirs, both the wardens, and today's judge, and my lovely dear brother and sister. So today I'm here to represent on behalf of the Takashila. So as you all know, that today we are here to celebrate our Constitution Day. So before going to our main topic, I would like to say something about our dear Dr. B.R. Sorry. So today, before going to, I would like to say some words for our chairman of the adopting committee. So, as we all know that today we are here to celebrate our 26th today on this day we are here to celebrate our Constitution Day. So, we are lucky to have our Constitution Day. As we all know that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was one of the greatest leaders in Indian history. So, and he was popularly known as the Babu Sahib and father of the drafting committees, etc. So, by keeping this in here, so I would like to start from our main topic, that is constitution value. So as we all know that every country has its own constitutions, and constitution is a book where all the rules and regulations of the country or nations has written. Constitution is a basic principle or law of the nation or state. They determine or this shows the duties of power of the government. This shows. And our constitution was adopted on the year of the 1949 on 26th November. But it was effected on it was effected on 26th January 1950. So on 26th January we celebrate Republic Day at remarkable on the day of the effective day. So as we all know that our constitution is also a big record of the longest written in the world, and it has 394 articles and 22 parts and 8 schedules. So first meeting was held in December 1946. The country is divided into two countries, that was India and Pakistan. So after dividing these two countries, there was 299 members from India who wrote these constitutions. And in 2005, the government took a historic decision to celebrate 26th November as the Constitution Day. So, as you all know, if there was in the Constitution, then what will happen to our country? If there was in the Constitution, then everything will be a violence. And if there was a monarchy system, then today what we are, we can't be, because if there was a monarchy system, then we have to go according to the king or queen, or C or Z orders. So we are very lucky to have a constitution. And as we all know that today every and each individual person have their own rights to express their feelings, to practice their religions, practice their whatever they can. in front of public because of the constitution. If you want a country in a peace and non-violence, then if you want a country a peace, then this constitution can lead us into a peace and violent country. So we are very lucky to have the constitution, and we are very lucky to have a constitution country. Because if there will be any constitutions, then no one can do according to what they feel, what they express in their mind, in their heart. No one can express. So no one can express what they feel. So we are very lucky. We should be proud to be a constitution country, not a monarchy system. So I have already told you that if there was a monarchy system, then we can't explain anything like us today, what we are doing. So yeah. So I like to very nice.
Coming together is beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. A very, very Tajik and namaste to all of you, most respected Director Sir, respected AO Sir, Dean Sir, Head of the Warden, judges, beloved teachers, non-teaching staff, senior and junior students, and all my dear friends. As you all know that today, the day of 26th November is known as the Constitution Day. So on this Constitution Day, I, on behalf of Nalinda House, I have got the opportunity to express my point of view on constitutional values. So before I jump on the constitutional values, I would like to introduce briefly about Constitution. There are so many different definitions on the books and Google, but as my view, the Constitution is written documents of laws, rules and regulations, and Constitution tells us fundamental rights, fundamental duties of their citizens, and it also describes the forms of government, organs of government, functions of government, and the powers of government. After knowing what is Constitution, and automatically another question will arise: how was the Indian Constitution came? So we all know that Indian Constitution was made by the Constituent Assembly. It was the group of 389 members. They were very well educated. They were very great thinkers. They had a skill to persuade the people. So they faced so many problems and difficulties during the making of Constitution. It took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to complete. And finally, the Indian Constitution was adopted by Constitutional Assembly on 26 November 1949 and came into force on 26 January 1950. So now I would like to come on my main topic, that is constitutional value. So there are so many constitutional values such as liberty, equality, fraternity, socialism, justice, secular. But as per my knowledge, the functions of Indian Constitution is also very valuable in our society, because the first function of Indian Constitution is provide a set of basic rules that allow for a minimal coordination amongst the members of society. And the third function of Constitution is to set some limits on what a government can impose on its citizens. And these limits are fundamental in the sense that government may never trespass them. And the fourth function of Indian Constitution is very valuable for our society. It is the fourth function of Indian Constitution is to enable the government to fulfill the aspiration of our society and create a condition for a just society. So therefore, I must say
these functions are very valuable in our society. Indian Constitution, there are some more functions which is very important for our society, and as per my knowledge, these are the very valuable in our society, because Constitution makes our aspiration fulfill, and it creates peaceful and just society by giving us fundamental rights and directive principle of state policy. According to the third part of Indian Constitution, we have fundamental rights, and according to the fourth part of Indian Constitution, we have directive principle of state policy. So these are the most valuable part of Indian Constitution. Under the fundamental rights, we have right to freedom of speech and expression, right to form association, right to assemble peacefully. So I consider that Constitution is a very more valuable than.
Namo Lokeshwar, yes. You see all phenomena in the common go. You see a world slowly for the benefit of kings that my supreme teacher and protector Genesis to you. I continually go with body, speech, and mind. Good afternoon to all. Respected directors, AOSR team, warden, judges, teachers, faculty members, and all the students. So, as we all know today, why we are gathered here to celebrate the 26th November to honor the adaptation of the Constitution of India. So, Constitution is a form of government which can be written or unwritten. It is the principle of the law. It demonstrates the people to have freedom and right, but with certain boundaries. In the society without constitution, there cannot be maintenance of peace and order for the instance despotism. India has been under British rule for almost 2 centuries. The other part of the 20th century, the Indian Revolution grew. To declare the right to rule and govern themselves, the people of India wanted their own government, own constitution. So the British government accepted the demand on 1940. The first president of the Constituent Assembly was Dr. Sachindananda Sinha, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was selected as the chairman. Being a chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar played a massive role on the Constitution of India. Hence, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is also known as the father of the Indian Constitution. It took 6 years to draw up the draft, and it was completed on 26 November 1949. In the next year, 26 January, the Constitution of India came into effect and became the supreme law of the country. The time between 26 November 1949 and 26 January 1950 was used to write the Hindi version of the draft of the Indian Constitution. The Constitution is one of the most significant building blocks for the modern society as it is today. Its influence is vast and pervasive. It teaches us that how we should live in peace and harmony as our brothers and sisters. These constitution values include human dignity, the achievement of equality, the advancement of human rights and freedoms, non-racialism and non-sexism, supremacy of the Constitution, the rule of law, democracy, social justice, equity, and respect. And lastly, I would like to deliver a word from R.B.R. Ambedkar. Freedom of mind is the real freedom. A person whose mind is not free, though he may not be in chains, is a slave, not a free man. One whose mind is not free, though he may not be in prison, is a prisoner. and not a free man, one whose mind is not free, though alive, is no better than that. Freedom of mind is proof of one's existence. Thank you.
Competition. It is from the Vikram Shila House. Sri Akasha, please kindly distribute the time. Vikram Shila House. Now I would like to request Dr. Gurmeet Kaur to kindly distribute the winner of the poster making competition to Nalanda House.
Respected Director Sir, AO Sir, loving teachers and my dear students. On this occasion, I want to sing a patriotic song. The title of the song is Vande Bharat Mataram. Actually, मैं बच्चों को गाने के लिए ये किया था, लेकिन समय के अभाव से वो लोग को सीखा नहीं गया, तो मैं थोड़ा इससे अपने आप गुनगुना रहा हूँ आप लोगों के समक्ष। वंदे भारत मातरम, वद भारत वंदे मातरम, वंदे भारत मातरम, वद भारत वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम। जन्मभूरियं वीरवराणां त्यागधराणां धीराणां, मातृभूमये लोकहिताय च नित्यसमर्पितचित्तानां, जितकोपानां कृतकृत्यानां, जितकोपानां कृतकृत्यानां, रिक्तं तृणवत्दृष्टवताम्, मातृसेवनादात्मजीवने सार्थकतामानीतवताम्। वन्दे भारत मातरं, वद भारत वन्दे मातरं, वन्दे मातरं, वन्दे मातरं, वन्दे मातरम्। ग्रामे ग्रामे कर्मदेशिका तत्त्ववेदिनो धर्मरताः, अर्थसञ्चय त्याग हेतुको धर्मसम्मत कामतिः। नश्वर बुद्धिः क्षण परवर्तिनी, नश्वर बुद्धिः क्षण परवर्तिनी, काये आत्मान्यादरणी, जातो यत्र हि स्वस्य जन्मना, धन्यं मन्यत आत्मानं, धन्यं मन्यत आत्मानं। वन्दे भारत मातरं, वद भारत वन्दे मातरं, वन्दे मातरं, वन्दे मातरं, वन्दे मातरं। धन्यवाद।
Dr. Sri Akasha distribute the prize. The second prize for speech competition goes to Nalanda House. Gurmeet Dorji to kindly distribute the first prize to Taksashila House. celebration, on the honor of the Constitution Day, I would like to express my gratitude to every here present. I would like to thank Dr. Gurbet Dorji for his presence, Sri Akash Shah, Sri Kemo Padu, the coordinator of today's program, judges of today's program, and all my dear students. I hope that the celebration attributes to your understanding of your country. Lastly, I would like to request everyone to please, all the teaching staffs to please come up on the stage, and also the students for the photo session. Thank you, everybody.